Testing and Evaluation in ELT, Universidad Nacional Abierta y a Distancia. Final task presented by César Augusto Rodríguez. The first statement for today is about assessment. We can define assessment uh, as a collecting of information about learners' performance, progress, or attitudes in order to make judgments about their learning. We may choose to assess formally or informally. In this cross chart, we can identify the main points explaining the principal characteristics of the assessment as formal, summative, informal, and formal. Comparative chart. Next, we can contrast between traditional quantitative evaluation and alternative qualitative evaluation. And this information is adapted from Brown, and we can identify in that way. So what are the main points for traditional quantitative and the main point for alternative qualitative assessment? Way it is possible to recognize the differences between assessment and evaluation for the dimensions, contents, orientations, and findings. Affirmative process diagnostics, in the case of evaluation, summative, product-oriented, what's been learned, and judgment arrived, and overall grade score. We can know that assessment concerning is to increase quality and evaluation is to judge quality. So now we are interested in know how do we need to assess students. Moving on our next main topic, we need to identify throughout some questions why is important to us as students. Why assess? What assess? What is the method? How we are ensuring quality and how we are using information to assess students and to obtain good results. And in assessment, we need to think first about our reasons for assessing learners. Then we can decide when and how often to assess them and choose what methods of assessment we are going to use. In the case of formal assessment during the lesson, we need to monitor to assess overall language ability and to decide if learners can continue to the next level. In the case of informal assessment, we need to see um, normal classroom teaching and learning activities, homework tasks, and feedback, of course. And learners keep records of progress. And of course, we don't need any grades. Interesting thing about informal assessment is that we do depend on a number of things, the size of the class and the age of the learners. Please, we do not forget this information. Reasons mentioned before, I propose a communicative language teaching. And what does it mean? As Brown says, an approach to language teaching methodology that emphasizes authenticity, interaction, student-centered learning, and task-based activities and communication for the real world, meaningful purposes. Here we can find the principles of communicative language teaching. For example, that learners learn the language throughout using it to communicative. And authentic and meaningful communication, fluency, communication involves the integration of different skills. And learning is a process of creative construction and involves trial and error. In that way, the techniques of communicative language teaching involves engagement of learners in authentic communication, functional communication, activities in which communication is involved, and social interaction activities such as conversation and discussion sessions, dialogues, and performance. Of course, it is important an informal assessment for learners to know what we are assessing them. And at the same time, we can carry out formal assessment by monitoring practice activities in grammar and sentences. Finally, we need to understand that assessment and evaluation tends to obtain proficiency in language communication of students, and that it's important to reflect on whether we are learning only grammar in our classes, if we are giving to our students regular tests, or we are giving them a really chance of participating and perform their capability to understand the world through the words, language, and communication. That's all. Thanks for your attention.